Hey, come on in, come on in. I'm excited to be hosting a live on YouTube. I've not gone live for a while, so the setup of my streaming tool has even changed. It's been that long. Yeah, welcome in, come on in, say hi in the chat so that I know that I am live and I know that you can hear me. I'm just testing in another device. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I'm not sure if let me know if you are on. Let me know if you can hear me. I've got the chat pulled up. So let me know if you can hear me. I want to share some insights, some strategies, some tactics that you can leverage in Q4, right? Q4 is one of the busiest sales opportunities, and that's what I want to talk about today. I'm just double checking my audio. Do you know what? Ooh, Shalina. All right, that wasn't. Okay, perfect. So I decided not to use my AirPods because they would then take over the laptop. So I said, okay, use the old wired ones. Only the earbud that I put in wasn't working. So I could hear it, but it was very low because, yeah, the one I had in was not working. All right, guys, welcome in. Say hi in the chat. Let me know if you are on. Let me know how your week has been. I want to just give a little moment for anyone else who is wanting to hop on before I get into the content. I've got the chat open, so let me just even test it to see what comes up. Because I don't want to be missing your messages. I'm going to give you an opportunity to ask your questions. I told you, I haven't used this for a while, so for some reason, I am not seeing the chat. Let's do it like this. No, we can figure this out together. I'm not sure why the chat isn't coming through, but I'm going to begin because I have got my phone here. So if anybody should send a message, I'll be able to see it. Right. Welcome in. So this masterclass is all around some steps, some reframes that I want for you to have all around Black Friday, all around sales opportunities more broadly. So I'm going to get into the content. If you're watching on live, do say hi so I can greet you. So let's pull up the bits that I want. All right, guys, so let's kick off. So if you only launched one offer this year, maybe you have not launched, maybe you've been sat on the sidelines watching everybody else launch, this one is the one that you need to jump into. This is the one that you need to participate, get your ish together and get going. And this masterclass will unpack and hopefully give you insight as to why this is the one that you want to be a part of. So I can see there are 4 people on, but I can't see any messages. Guys, say hi so I can see that, so I know that I'm not just talking to myself, but I'm going to continue. So if you are new to me, right, I'm going to do an intro. But before I get into this, I want to say welcome. I am Shalina. I'm going to do a longer intro in a bit. I'm the founder of The Build Room, which is a community for female entrepreneurs who are over the age of 40. As I said, I want to talk to you about a powerful sales opportunity that is sitting in front of you. And when I say Black Friday, let me know what comes up for you. Hey, Nafisa, I can see you on. I'm here, but awaiting an appointment. Okay, perfect. That's all right. You can watch the replay, so that's not a problem. At least I know that I'm on. Hey, Jackie, good to see you. Right. Let me actually put my phone on the stand because then I don't have to hold it in my hand. Right, guys. So when I say the word Black Friday, what comes up for you? Is that triggering? Does it like fill you with dread? Do you side eye? Are you like, oh, that is for e-commerce. It's not for me as a service-based business owner. I would love to know what comes up for you. Some people instantly think about stress when they think of Black Friday. They think about urgency, pressure, slashing prices. There are a number of things that come up. But in this session, I want to show you something that is potentially quite novel, quite different. Not many people consider Black Friday through this lens. So yeah, I'm excited to take you through it. So Black Friday, like when done right, can be like the spark that really builds your pipeline for the coming year. And I'm excited to go into that. But as I say, I did want to do an intro if you are new to my world, if it's the first time that you have joined me in any type of event, whether online or in person. So I'm Shalina, also known as the LinkedIn lady. As I said, I work with female founders who are over the age of 40, and these women are incredible at what they do. However, they don't necessarily know how to market themselves. They struggle with consistency. They have imposter syndrome and a few other, I would say, mindset things that stop them. Where I come in is providing implementation support, right? So often that's one of the challenges, is actually implementing. We often sign up for a lot of courses, a lot of things, but never actually implement. So I provide a space and an environment for women to be able to implement, to be able to be upskilled and trained on various things around marketing, digital marketing, LinkedIn, all the things that, you know, you're an expert in coaching, you're an expert in, you're a consultant, or maybe you're an author and you just struggle with putting yourself out there. So that was a brief intro into me. I do want to like let you know like where we are in terms of the ecosystem in my business and where we're sat today and what we're doing, right? So the build room is an ecosystem that's made up of 4 layers. So from foundation to elevation, each layer has been designed with a female entrepreneur over the age of 40 in mind, right? It's designed in a way to move her forward, to take her from maybe all of those things that I called out previously to being confident, showing up boldly, to getting to becoming known as that go-to person, that thought leader, that expert in her niche, right? So what do the layers look like? So the first layer is a build room activation, and really that is a high impact event. So think of challenges. I'm sure you've participated perhaps in a challenge with me previously, a masterclass, an in-person event, right? So an activation, a build room activation could be free, it could be paid, it could be online, it could be in person. But ultimately, what they're for is to spark momentum, right? I really want women to be activated and triggered to take action. As I said, they're incredible at what they do, but they just need that little push, right? These events, these build room activations, they like the woman's trust in me, and move her from learning to actually taking action. The next level is the Build Room Starter. And the Build Room Starter is my free community where women are at that very early stage of building their visibility online. Maybe they're just starting out in their business, just figuring out like what platforms they should be on, what their message is, even what their offers are. So they're at that very early stage. And, you know, confidence and all those things are at play. So through resources and sisterhood, that's how the women in the Build Room Starter are supported. The next level is the build room, and I can see a few ladies are on that are members of the build room. So just say hi, just say BR if you are a build room lady. And these women are receiving hands-on implementation support, right? So coaching, content, and accountability is really key at this juncture, right? Often, as I've said, they struggle with consistency. So providing a space, providing things like co-working, Q&A calls, all those things allow the women in the build room to show up and to show up strong. They are implementing strategies. So the women in the starter are kind of figuring out things. The women in the build room are actually implementing. So they are leveraging LinkedIn, they are leveraging sales pages, they're leveraging books that they're writing, they are actually taking action. Let me come back over here and see if the chat is behaving now. Okay, I see, amazing, the chat is starting to come through. Okay, perfect. So Jackie said, let me scroll back up. Jackie said, and it is jumping. All right, there we are. As a consumer, she says, I think of bargains and deals, right? Which is true, right? We have 2 hats. So we are consumers, but we're also providers, deliverers of services, of transformation. So we kind of have 2 hats. Nafisa, what did you come up with? You said refers to shopping and bargains. Never thought of it as something I could do. Oh my gosh. So you are in the right place. You are absolutely in the right place. And I know that you have an appointment. So this will be saved in the build room anyway, so you can always go back and watch it at a later date. Don't sit on it for too long. Black Friday is the 28th of November, so we don't have very long to leverage. What is an opportunity that I really think that we should all be grasping? So yes, Jackie is in the build room, a BR lady. I love it. I've got Tamika who has jumped on. Hey, Tamika. You said, hey, ladies, happy to be a part of this. Oh, I'm happy that you're here. Yeah, glad that you jumped on. There's another BR lady, Sharon. Hey, sis, how are you? How are you? All right, there's a few others, but we will continue, we'll press on with the content, right? So the final level in this ecosystem is the why is my clicker not working? The final level in the ecosystem is the Build Room Elevate. And that is a premium level offering, like with personalized strategies, working one-to-one, giving consultation, private creation and content days, and really helping a woman who wants to work one-to-one, has gone through the stages and is ready to get visibility full on, right? So she wants to speak on stages, she wants to be on podcasts, to move her business forward. That's ultimately the purpose of it. We're not doing this, I always say, we're not doing this to be influencers. It really is about advancing your business and, I want to say, without being morbid, dying empty, right? Doing everything that God has put within us, pouring that out. So whether that is that book that you, or books rather, that you need to put out there, maybe it's a course or a program, a framework, something that will outlive you. So I support these women to elevate ultimately with like a premium level of service, helping them to refine their messages, to scale with confidence. So I share all that to share with you. We are currently sat in a build room activation, right? That's where we're currently sat in my ecosystem. So this is where this content is all around sparking you into action. Build room activations are, as I've said, they're high impact. They give you insight, information with the view that you will do something with it, right? So whether you go off and do that by yourself, that's okay. Or you may decide, you know what, let me jump into the Build Room Starter because I need sisterhood, I need resources, right? And then you may decide, you know what, let me put some money behind this because I want to get results. I want that accountability. I want to implement. And then you may jump into the Elevate, the premium service. So as I say, this session is all around sparking you into action, right? So specifically around Black Friday, this activation is all around helping you to see that Black Friday, it has so many benefits, but often it just takes for a mindset shift, especially for service-based business owners who do think that this is just for e-commerce businesses. It's just for product-based businesses. You can't quite get your head around how, as a service deliverer, someone who gets transformations, not in a day, how can this work? So I really do want to shift your mindset from, I don't have time for this, or is this actually worth it, to thinking that this is a smart and strategic long-term play, right? So what you're doing is you are planting powerful seeds, right? That's what you're doing with this. Your Black Friday offer isn't just about quick cash. It can be the first step in your pipeline for the coming year. For 2026, it can be a pipeline filler for you if you do it right, if you set it up correctly, right? So let me push on. What I do want to let you know is that I will be making you an offer at the end of this, because I'm imagining that as I'm lighting that match and sparking that wick, the ideas, the desire is going to trigger in you, and you're going to want to figure this one out in particular, right? I'm going to invite you into what is a build room activation, another build room activation, where I'm going to be walking you through step by step with replays from a live challenge that was ran. So you get access to the replays, but also there's an opportunity to work with me over 4 weeks to implement what's taught in those replays. So hold fire for that. But what I want you to take away, the most important things that I want you to take away, is the strategic conversation that we're having here. So as I've said, this is for people who deliver services, coaches, consultants. I really want you to build revenue and momentum, not just to chase quick wins. And that often is what happens with Black Friday. People just look at like small lumps of cash that they can get, and they're not thinking with a bigger picture. They're not thinking with a long-term vision. So this masterclass is the step before the challenge, right? So the challenge is there, which is great because you can tap into it. What we're discussing here is me helping to shift your mindset, to show you the value of Black Friday and why I really want all service-based business owners to leverage it. There are 3 things that I do want you to come away with. You'll probably come away with more, but these are the 3 things, the 3 takeaways that I really want you to have. So I want you to come away with a better understanding of why this matters, and especially now. What is it, Friday the 24th of October? Why does this matter today? Why is this important? You'll come away with that insight as we journey through the material. The second takeaway that I want you to have is all around how Black Friday can act as a pipeline builder, pipeline builder and not a panic seller, because a lot of people wake up like maybe the day before Black Friday and decide, oh, let me scrabble together and put an offer out. That's panic, and I don't need it, and I know you don't, right? So I want you to come away with, you know, the fact that this can build your pipeline for Q1 of the next year. The work that we do now can fill your pipeline. And then the third thing is there are 3 powerful roles for a strategic offer, right? And that can play out in your business if you leverage it correctly. So I don't want you to miss out on Black Friday or any other sales opportunity for that matter if you understand the 3 different types of sales that a service based business owner can leverage. So let me come back to the chat and see what's happening, see who is saying what, because I'm doing a lot of talking and I want to have a swig of my water. So guys, let me know, like, in terms of what I've shared, does that sound compelling? Does that sound of interest, that as a service-based business owner, you could begin to attract the right people to work with next year? So when next year comes, you're not scrabbling, you're not trying to figure it out last minute. Let me know. Hopefully I wasn't gulping too loudly because the microphone is right here, but your girl's thirsty. I'm sweating already. Let me know if what I've said, you're like, interesting, but how? I'll continue on and I'll flick back to the chat, right? So let me come back and remember to do this because I always keep blabbering on and forget to share the slides. So Q4 is the absolute best time to launch something. Like, out of all of the quarters of the year, Q4, I think, is the best time to launch something. The first reason is that there's the highest buyer intent across the year. So people are already in buying mode. They're like sat waiting with their Apple Pay, their, what's that other one? I don't know. What's the Android people? Is it Google Pay? I can't remember. I'm an Apple girl, right? They're like, please take my money. They're ready. They're primed. We have been primed to spend in Q4. So Q4 is the last quarter of the year. So October, November, December, right? They're primed. It's peak spending season and people are already in decision mode. So for some people, they've already like listed out and they're eyeing up what they want to buy, what they want in what they want out of the Black Friday sale. So they're already attuned to buying, which is fantastic because we have offers to put out, right? Also, there's this like new year, new me energy. How many of you like put out your New Year's resolutions? You're like, yes, in the new year, I'm going to be all the way different. That is on the horizon now. People are already starting to think about the changes, the transformation that they want to make in 2026. So with what you do, can you leverage that? You absolutely can, right? It's a rhetorical question, but that energy is on the horizon and your offer can absolutely help people if you prepare for that now. Most business owners tend to leave it, as I've said, to the last minute, leave money on the table. And what they do is they're waiting until January to drop these offers to promote the New Year's resolution rhetoric, right? How about we start now? Start to put these offers out, start to seed sow, and maybe even sign people up into your offers, into your packages. And they may commence in the new year. You may have to do some kind of like nurturing in that period so that they don't go cold and lose interest. But that's a possibility that you very well could sign up clients. But that new year, new me thing is an opportunity for us as service-based business owners. The third reason why Q4 is the best time to launch something is quite possibly your competitors are winding down, right? In favor of Thanksgiving, Christmas parties, mulled wine. They're just like, oh, like checked out for the year. They've wound down. They're not actually showing up. So it's like a wide open goal that you could absolutely leverage. It's an opportunity for you to warm up those people in your network to begin to have those conversations while others are partying hard, right? So those are the 3 reasons I think that for Q4 in particular, because think of all the other kind of like sales opportunities, you don't have so much all in such a small window of time. So we've got Black Friday, we've got Cyber Monday, we've got Christmas, we've got New Year's. right, there are many opportunities for you to fill your pipeline with the offers that you put out. And that's not to say that you won't. Like, obviously we want to make money. That's the goal of being in business. But I think if we only think about like putting out low ticket offers to just get small lumps of cash in, it is very short-sighted. What I do need you to like just be clear on, right? You do not need to do the most, right? But what you do need to do is do it with purpose. And that's where having a plan for your offer, having a plan for how you're going to promote it, all of those things are the purposeful strategy side of things that you need to have. But it doesn't mean like you need to be on every platform, sending emails every day, posting 5 times a day in order to sell your Black Friday offers. Don't hear what I'm not saying. So this is really where I want to like drop a reframe, right? So if you have ever side-eyed Black Friday, if you have avoided putting offers out, if you sat on the sidelines watching everybody else hoovering up the opportunities, it's not about slashing your prices. I just want to say that first and foremost, people instantly think that they need to discount, and you do not. There are many strategies that I call out and teach in the Black Friday Build Challenge. That means you don't have to discount a single thing. There are different ways in which you can increase the perceived value of your offer. You can increase the perceived value of what it is that you are selling. And most people kind of start the conversation around Black Friday with, oh, I'll just do a 60%, a 70% discount. But what I really want for us to use it for is an opportunity to have conversations with the right people, the people who have the problem that you solve. And you know, for whatever reason, they haven't moved forward, they haven't raised their hand previously, what you put out to them is what I like to think of as a doorway. It's an entry point to come in and work with you at a, you know, very kind of low level, quick win, something that you can solve for them, to give them exposure to you and your strategies, to give them exposure to the way in which you work, to get them a result so that you can move them up to your core offer or your next offer in your offer suite, right? So Black Friday, in terms of the purpose of it, for me anyway, it's that front door, it's that initial entry level for your business for the next year. I'm setting myself up to win for the next year. So as I said, it's a low barrier offer, it's a low entry. Maybe you use it as a reactivation tool. Maybe you had a client that you worked with previously, and in this offer that you put out, you're able to rekindle that relationship, to call them back into working with you, or maybe use it to like test a launch, right? All of these things are possible when it comes to Black Friday. So it's not just about putting out crazy offers and slashing your prices. I really hope that you grasped that, right? So there are 3 types of Black Friday offers, right? I taught this in the Black Friday Build Challenge. There's 3 that I can think of at the moment. Maybe there's more, maybe if I give it some more time, right? But there's 3 I think that are key and crucial, and we can like choose which one is more appropriate for our goals, our business goals, for our capacity, for our values, right? So the first one is a discovery offer, and a discovery offer looks like a low risk offering that you put out there to help somebody to get a taste of your work. I have a sweet tooth, all the way a sweet tooth. As much as I have tried, it persists. I have a sweet tooth. So I put here like a dessert spread, right? So you could put an offer out that is for them to discover what it is that you do. Maybe you bundle some of your offers together. To your bundle offers anyway should reinforce like the main thing, but you bundle maybe some of your offers to help someone to discover what it's like to work with you. So this really helps with that first experience. They don't know you, because the price, you know, isn't prohibitive. You are able to get a quick win for them. You lower the objections, you lower the resistance. Think of like maybe offering an audit. If maybe like you're a website designer, maybe doing a website audit. As a LinkedIn strategist, I could be doing LinkedIn audits. Maybe you offer a trial in a discovery type offer. So you give a trial access. In the build room, maybe I give a 7-day trial, right? That could be a low offer. That in that instance, I would bundle that with something else. They would pay for one thing and then get the trial access to the build room, and really the 2 should work together. There should be like a synergy between them. You're not just grabbing random things and putting it out there. Or maybe there's like a starter session that you do, a masterclass, something that exposes more of you. So great for growing your list, your email list. This type of offer is really good for that. It's great for qualifying your leads. This offer really does lean into that. The second idea that you might want to expand later. So maybe in 2026, you know that you want to go all in on something, but we use a Black Friday offer as a sandpit, science lab, whatever, to test that initial idea. Whether it's your messaging, maybe you want to test how people respond to your messaging. The method, you may set up, I don't know, like a 4-week sprint of something to see how people respond to it, but also how do you respond to it? Do you like doing that type of work? Is it draining on you? So you test it in this kind of environment, almost like a beta test, to then launch it more fully in the next year. Looking at like your language, is that converting? Who says yes? Who says no? And why did they say no? That is data and insights that you can leverage. The price point, how did that land? Even if you get a few sales with a validation offer, that's a win, right? Because it's giving you insight for what to launch in the next year, the next quarter. So the third type of offer looks like guys, I did say I've got a sweet tooth, so your girl went for more desserts, right? Is an entry offer. And an entry offer is a simplified version of your course service or the course transformation that you get for somebody. So what it does is it gives like a natural step into your world, but then it's not the whole thing. You're not solving the whole problem. You're solving, I always use a cake analogy. You're not giving the whole cake, you're giving a sliver of it, right? So out of maybe your framework, you pull out one element of that framework and offer that as your Black Friday offer, with intention that it obviously connects to your core service because it's been taken from it, but you build into the delivery that understanding that this isn't the full solution. There's a next level, there's something else. When you work with a client as a service-based business owner, what you do is you solve one problem and you expose another. So in that slice that we've pulled out, right? So let me use myself as an example. I can help you to optimize your LinkedIn profile, right? That could be my Black Friday offer. So we fixed the optimization problem, but what I've now exposed is that you don't have a strategy, right? You don't know how to grow your network, you don't know how to engage, you don't know how to generate leads. There's no plan to what you're doing. You're just out here operating on vibes. So I've now exposed that there's another issue that needs to be solved, and that is where you move up the ladder. So this entry offer is, as I say, a simplified version of your core service. It really helps you to set up to nurture, to get to know, to even understand more about what their challenges, their pain points, to hear their language that you can recycle back into another offer. You can recycle into your sales page because you're working with these individuals, right? So that could be a coaching offer. It could be a membership, maybe a mastermind. Those are the types of things that could work with an entry offer. So you build in the next step. I invite you into the cohort, the January cohort, which deals with X, Y, and Z that was not dealt with in that initial entry offer. So this really is how we move a one-time flash sale into a momentum building asset. There's a difference with just putting out a one and done deal versus choosing one of these with purpose, with intention, with foresight for what is to come next. So really get into grips with November not just being about quick sales, quick cash. It really is about everything that happens after November. That's really what I want for you to grasp. So let me come back and see what is happening over here. All right, so Jackie, you have thrown me. Okay, so do you have two profiles then? Because I'm like, there's a different picture. I'm used to the yellow head wrap. You said, sounds like a great idea to use Black Friday to start planning for Q1. Yeah, I just find that many people don't. It is just go and grab your most old and outdated offer and put that out. I said this on a TikTok live. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this. When I've gone to the next sale, I have to wonder, where did they find these items from? Because I have never seen them on the shop floor. It's like they've gone into yesteryear and found these almost like sample items. They're not even sewn well to put on sale racks. I'm like, where did you get this? And why are you trying to flog it? I do not want that to be the case for anybody on this live, anybody in the Build Room ecosystem, right? what you put out absolutely has to solve a problem. It absolutely has to be good quality. It absolutely has to represent you and your business well. Just because it's a sale, it doesn't mean that you've gone and like dusted off this old thing to just put out there, right? So yeah, I've gone on a rant. I've gone on a rant. What did you say, Jackie? You said, haha, I'm soft transitioning my profile pictures. Okay, fair enough. I was all the way confused. Like, this is the thing, right? Our avatars, people know us by our avatars. So that was kind of like, there was a little bit of confusion in my mind when I saw a different picture. Sharon has said, very interesting and sounds like a brilliant idea. Yeah, and this is the tip of the iceberg. In the 3-day challenge, I unpack all of this. I unpack, your plans for visibility, your plans for timeline, even, because we'll get onto that. If you leave it to the last minute, this is not gonna like go well for you. Hey Dorothy, good to see you. Yeah, where did they find these items? As I said, it's like they've just like, I don't know, gone to a sample sale and bought a load of half-finished items. I'm like, I've never seen this on the shop floor, not one time. Not one time. All right, let's continue because your girl will take us down a rabbit hole and you'll be like, how did we get here? So we looked at the 3 types of Black Friday offers, and you would decide, right, where you are in your business. Is it about testing a thing that you've been cooking up, right? Putting that out as an offer, testing that for the next year? Is it about kind of wanting to work with new people, right? So we want people that discover us. But before you rush and start to build your sales page, start to do all the things, what I need for you to do is take 10 minutes and do a check, right? A really simple and easy check to see if your offer idea really matches a real and current problem. On that rant, I was just talking about what we put out has to be valuable, right? So spending 10 minutes before you quickly knock up a sales page and do all the things, take that 10 minutes and find out, like, what are the current problems? What are the things that people are searching for online? What are they talking about? Where are the gaps? Where are the angles perhaps that you could squeeze yourself into and stand out? So yeah, absolutely take a moment to do that. Your audience, like, are putting out what their pain points are. They're talking about what their challenges are, what their desires are. So for example, like maybe you are a coach who helps people organize their content ideas. Doing a search around that will help you to elevate your offer. Maybe you are in HR and you're helping leaders to run inclusive team meetings, searching online to see what are people talking about, what are the books even that are out currently, what are the comments, all the things that will help you to take your idea to the next level. I call it like a validation search, right? And there's a few steps for how you do that. So step 1 looks like choosing your platform. So for me, like, these are the go-tos when it comes to doing this validation exercise. Starting with Google, because that's going to give you like broad research. The Google is where I would initially start, and then I'm always going to tell you to go to LinkedIn to leverage the search. When you think of it, like in comparison to the other social media platforms, we ply LinkedIn with all of our business, right? On Instagram, you probably don't even have your real name, but on LinkedIn, we put, where we went to school, what qualifications we got, where we've worked, who we volunteered with, our business. Literally all of the information that you need for market research lives on LinkedIn if you just know how to search and interrogate. I call it a database, really, if you know how to search and interrogate that. So LinkedIn is going to give you like the professional view of the conversations that are happening. So if what you offer is in the realm of like professionals, head to LinkedIn. TikTok and YouTube is going to give you video, the demand for video content. Like, what does that look like? What videos are being created? What engagement? What comments? What are people saying? That would help you with your research. Reddit and Quora are going to be great to hear raw questions and frustrations. That place or those two can be like the wild, wild west. People don't hold back. They say, like, the emotional side of things. So if you need to pull out those types of insights, doing your research around Reddit and Quora. And then Answer the Public is another gem. I literally have just signed up to, or maybe a couple of months ago, signed up to their paid package, because you can get free searches, but they limit them. But Answer the Public, again, searches across Google, across Instagram, YouTube, the things that people are asking online. And it gives you, it gives you quite a granular and in-depth visual highlight of that information. And then the last one is like Kindle. So seeing, as I've said, what the reviews are, what was missing in a book around your niche, around your topic that you are thinking of putting a Black Friday offer out about. So step 2, right? So we've chosen the platform. We've thought about what our idea, just loosely, right? We've chosen our platform. Step 2 is around like just entering a problem style search into any of the repositories that we've just spoken about. So what we're not doing is we are not searching for solutions, right? What we're searching for is pain points. We're searching for desires. We're trying to like get behind even the words and the things that they're saying to see what you can understand from how people are searching. And when you start to search in, whether it's Google or TikTok or YouTube, as you start to write the words, can you see, like I've typed in here, inclusive leadership. I was going to do the search for inclusive workshop feedback. As you start to type, it starts to come up with the popular searches. So straight off the bat, you can start to see around inclusive leadership, what are the things that are coming up. So even before I finished my full search, those are the terms that I'm starting to see that people are searching for. So just an additional tip, what you can also do is add quotation marks when you're searching, because that will tell the search engine, like, I just want these words, right? Because sometimes it can return a word in your string, but if you use quotation marks, searching for questions, searching, as I've said, even incomplete sentences, really trying to mimic like a real user and what they would be searching for around your area, around what it is that you offer. Step 3 looks like analyzing what you find. So those pain points that you get back, like spending some time like thinking about them. You want to make sure that the problem that you are offering to solve actually exists, right? It's not just in your mind, because sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to build this business and it's going to be awesome. And really, it just exists in my mind. Nobody needs it. They're like, who asked you for this? Nobody, right? So making sure that there's a real pain point, that it actually is in demand. People are searching for it. People are talking about it. Far too often as entrepreneurs, we're creatives. We sit and we just come up, we ideate, right? We come up with these ideas. And then what happens is things fall over, they flop. And we're scratching our heads like confused and upset. So think about solving an actual problem, not just reacting to what you think it is. If no one's talking about it, then probably the problem isn't that urgent and people are not looking for a solution to that particular problem. And then like looking at the specific language. So are people using the word burnout, or are they saying I'm knackered, right? What is the specific language? Looking for the words, the phrases. I always, in my mind, think people are searching for how can I leverage LinkedIn? Probably nobody is searching for leverage LinkedIn. They're like, I can't get LinkedIn to work. LinkedIn is rubbish. How can I, like, you have to, as the expert, almost step out of yourself and think from the perspective of your client. What are the words that they're using? And that ends up being like gold for your copywriting, gold for your messaging, right? Because when you can describe a struggle, a pain point in their language, it resonates instantly. They're thinking like, this woman's in my head, she's living here rent free. How did she know that I was thinking about that? How did she know that this is what I'm like crying to my husband each night about? Because whatever the problem is that she's wanting to solve. So language is really important. It grabs attention, builds trust, positions you as somebody who can solve their problem because you understand them, right? So using their words, extracting them, including those phrases, those words in your headline when you do create a sales page, in your copy, in your social posts, in your emails. Play back their words to them from the research that you've done. And then like looking for comments for posts that show like emotional engagement. People make buying decisions with their emotions. That's the first kind of port of call, and then we kind of try to justify it. So it's often based on how they emotionally feel. So if you understand the emotions associated with that particular problem or aspiration, that again is copywriting gold. You're looking not just for the surface level interest or things that people are like mildly like interested in, but what are they sharing? What are they reposting? What are they tagging their friends in? What things are they leaving comments that are really quite visceral, right? That you can start to see that there's a frustration, there's urgency around fixing that problem, right? The emotion is what is going to drive them to take action. So if people are venting, if they're asking for help, if they are, as I said, tagging other people, it signals real demand. And emotionally, get my teeth in, invested people are people who are likely to buy. They're likely to want to work with you and to get their problem solved. So this the final step in this process is around like, well, not the final step, sorry, the final aspect of the analysis process is looking for common gaps. So what is missing from what's already being offered? I imagine you're not the only person who does what you do, unless you are ridiculously niche, right? There's someone who does something the same or very similar to what you do. So doing some research about their offering, where are the gaps with their service? What are they not speaking about? What are they not offering as a package, a transformation? And that's what's going to really help to differentiate you, right? So if like 10 people are offering content calendars, maybe you're a social media manager, everyone is offering content calendars, but no one is addressing accountability, consistency, and providing tools to help with content, right? That is maybe what you put out as your Black Friday offer. So looking for where you can see in your mind, you're like, oh, they've missed it. They're not fixing the actual problem. So you are looking to spot those missing pieces and like carve out a unique position in the marketplace. So those gaps are often where your offer now becomes really irresistible because people will compare, right? They'll compare uh, to see your offer has this and their offer has this, and you understand this, and like they're going to compare before making a buy-in decision. So ultimately, the validation searches are not just about like checking if your idea is popular. That's not what we're wanting to do. What the purpose of it is to help you to shape your messaging, to offer what is like rooted in a real need, a real pain point, a real challenge, something that resonates emotionally, right? There, ultimately, in doing that legwork is what is going to position you to really stand out and to be like selected, chosen as the person who they want to spend their pennies and pounds with. So what I do as step 4 is like take note of this. So I create like a quick 3-column table, and you could do this on a Google sheet, you could do it in Canva, you could do it in a notebook. Like, it doesn't matter where you do it, just get this information down. So the first column is all around what is it that they're struggling with. So in this example, someone is not getting engagement on LinkedIn, let's say, as an example. So the words that they use is, I'm invisible on LinkedIn. As I've said to you, this is copyright in gold. I can now reuse that in my messaging. And then the gap that I notice is no one talks about silent lurkers, right? And silent lurkers are people who end up buying from you, but they never engage, they never comment, they just silently lurking. In helping to reframe somebody to understand that, that's a gap that perhaps I've noticed that nobody else is talking about, right? And that's something that I could include into my offer. So make sure that you get the information down, because you're going to leverage that and use that across, as I've said, your sales assets, your sales page, your email tools, your social posts. So get the information down and then reflect on it all, right? So we've done that quick. As I said, you could do that in 10 minutes. It doesn't have to take you all day. You've got it down, reflect over it, ask yourself, does my current offers, the things that you currently offer, speak to any of these things that we have listed out in our 3-column table, right? So the offers that you're already selling, if you're already selling, how do they align with what I've identified? And the ideal scenario would be that you can instantly map the problems with what the offers you already have are. That means that maybe you might just need to tweak it a bit, right? Maybe you need to tweak the title or the angle or maybe the packaging, right? So that it speaks more clearly to what you've understood from that research, right? Ideally, I don't want you having to create a new offer at this late stage. We've got like a month until Black Friday. So looking at the things that you have already, and as I said, mapping to what you already have and the research you've done. And then if you need to tweak taking some time to do that. Maybe you need to add in an additional module. Maybe your curriculum needs an additional thing from what you've identified as a gap. But starting from zero is not ideal. As I said, especially not at this time. I don't want you spending hours on this or tweaking something. So always make sure that you do that research so that the time that you have, you can leverage it effectively. The goal is to solve a real problem that people are already trying to fix. We're not trying to come up with new, novel problems that nobody has yet. Right. So I spoke about like the mistake of running ahead, right? Putting your sales page out just off the back of an idea. I want to just quickly go through some other mistakes that I would love for you to avoid when it comes to putting out a Black Friday offer. Yeah, let me just share a few mistakes that a lot of people make and you could easily avoid. So waiting until mid-November to decide what it is that you're selling. By then, chances are you are going to be like putting out something that is akin to those next items that nobody actually wants. You're now scrabbling to just quickly put something out. This season is not about pressure, it's about positioning. If we're thinking with the long term in mind, we're thinking about filling our pipeline for next year, then we have to take the time to be intentional. So waiting until close to Black Friday is not advisable, and that is definitely a mistake I would love for you to avoid. And the second mistake is like picking an offer that burns you out when it comes to delivering it. This is going to ultimately undermine the whole purpose of using Black Friday in the way that I'm talking about. Right? If it burns you out, if it drains you, if it impacts the delivery of the work that you're doing currently, then it just causes chaos. And that's not the point of it. We're trying to get momentum. We're trying to solidify clients into the new year. So picking something that is going to be too burdensome, is going to burn you out, is not wise. So think twice about your offer, your idea, if it requires perhaps custom work, right? For each person, if the offer that you're putting out requires you to create something, do something, make something, like work closely with each person individually, maybe not a good idea. If it requires manual onboarding, if it's very like manual in your approach, again, not a good idea. If you're having to like do one-to-one calls with every person that buys, it's not scalable and will ultimately end up draining you, and you'll probably curse me and Black Friday. Like, don't do that, right? So don't choose something that's gonna burn you out. And then the final mistake that I see is like people spray and put something out and their Black Friday offer is not connected to their core offer, the thing that solves the problem, right? There's no connection. And what you're doing is, rather than filling a pipeline, you're actually creating a dead end, right? So if your Black Friday offer does not lead into your core offer, if it doesn't have any connection to your core offer, there's no link to that main service, that main program, then what you've essentially created is just a one-off sale. That's what you've done. And like that moment of just bringing money in, nah, like, okay, that's fine, but you've missed out on the opportunity for like relationship, for a long-term customer, for increasing the lifetime value of a customer, right? Because they're going to get that thing and just skip off into the sunset. And what may happen is that now, as I said, when you solve one problem, you expose another. And because they probably think, oh, you don't have another like package, you don't have the next thing to solve it, they'll go somewhere else. So you've exposed the problem, and now they skip off and go and pay your competitor who has now woken up in 2026 after all the partying hard in December, right? So we don't want that. We want to attract people who are our ideal people, and we know that we can solve a bigger problem for them. We don't want them to disappear into the sunset and we miss out on a long-term client. So what I do need you to know, that you like don't need to have this perfect funnel. You do not need a big audience. That those are things that stop people from taking action. We look at the things that we don't have. That's not what you need. What you do need is to have a simple and a clear offer, right? That solves a problem. We've gone into all of that. You need to definitely have a simple and a clear offer. Have a visibility plan. How are you going to market this thing? How is people going to know what you have to offer? And start talking about it early. if everybody leaves it to the last minute, what you're doing is you are competing against the noise. Everyone has an offer, everyone is trying to sell something. So it's very noisy, it's very busy, and you're now fighting for attention and pounds ultimately. So let's have a visibility plan and start to implement that plan early. So having a timeline that you'll actually follow. So mapping out, like, you know, when you're going to start to seed sow, when you're going to start to open your cart, when you're going to close your cart, all of those things need to be mapped out. And that is exactly what I teach, like step by step, in the Black Friday Build Challenge. So those replays are gold. They literally are jam-packed with insights. And on top of the replays, so those 3 hours of replays, for the next 4 weeks, I'm also holding live office hours, right? So support that you can come to and get assistance and support, maybe with refining your offer, or helping to tweak your messaging, or whatever. Maybe it's accountability to just be a part of a community that are all moving in the same direction, and who wants to be left behind? Not me, right? So the Black Friday Build Challenge replays, as well as the 4 weeks of it's like a sprint office hour type setup, right, is £97, right? So if any of what I have been sharing with you is clicking, oh my gosh. So I think what you guys are seeing on my screen, it looks like all of my graphics look perfect. But I think Canva has done me dirty. Canva has messed me up. It's not showing any of my graphics. That's not good. Right. We move, right? We are professionals. We keep going. Right. So 4 weeks of implementation support. As I said, if any of this is clicking, right, and you know that you do not want to go into November guessing, right, you know that you need help with implementation, then the Black Friday build, replays, and implementation support is for you. So the implementation support will be every week on a Thursday, starting from the 30th of October, right, at 12:30. So I'll be running office hours. You can come along, go through the 3 days of the challenge. So watch the replays and then start to build out your offer. And where you get stuck, come along to those office hour calls. So in addition to the replays, the office hours, you're also getting tools to help you to shape your offer, how to seed it strategically, and to sell without stress. So that £97 is until Wednesday, because we start on Thursday, right? So that is available until then. 6 p.m. on the 29th of October, the doors will close for this iteration. And then in the new year, I'm going to repackage this, and this will be sold as a self-study program for £277, without the office hours, without the access, without the like additional support. So this is a really fantastic deal, because I'm in that beta phase. In 2026, this will be packaged and put together and a bow wrapped around it, and a woman can go through at her own leisure. I'll be adding in other sales opportunities, so it won't just be focused on Black Friday. So the Black Friday Build Challenge replays is available now. As I've said, you could start this over the weekend. You could go through those 3 days, watch one today, one Saturday, one Sunday, and then on Thursday, come along to one of those office hours, ask your questions, get support with your offer. So I said that I was going to gift you a in the room bonus, right, for showing up live, for being on the call, for sticking with me, for rocking with me, right? So I want to give you a quick start toolkit, right? For those of you who are online, it's designed to give you a really 3 small but mighty steps to take when it comes to shaping your Black Friday offer. So even if you don't have the full plan or the full outline, this will help you in that regard. So I'm going to stop, or I'm going to come back and stop sharing the screen. I have not tried typing in to the chat, but I'm going to give it a go now. I'm going to drop the link in to the chat and hope that it makes its way to you. Right, there we are. I can see it now. So that's a thank you for showing up live. Thank you for staying and rocking with me. There's a question. There is a question. Let me pull it up. Apologies for a repeat, please. What time and day are the office hours? So the office hours are on Thursdays at 12:30. So come along. You don't have to come for the whole thing. And if you don't have a question, I'll record them, because a question that one person could ask may be of benefit to you. So ideally you would be available, but if you're not, then you can absolutely watch the replays and you can submit your questions in advance, much the same as in the build room. So if you can't actually attend live, you can submit your questions in advance and it would get picked up in that week's office hours. So this will be hosted in the build room starter. So in my free community, that's where this would be hosted. Within school, you're able to like lock down modules. So there would be women that are in that community because it's a free community and they've joined, but if they haven't paid to be in the build room replay challenge, they won't be able to access the resources or get the links for the office hours. You are very welcome, Sharon. You are very welcome. So guys, if you have questions, now's the time. If you have a question about any of the content, any of the materials, or if you have a question about the offer, the office hours, the tool, whatever, now is a great time to ask your question. But yeah, let me know as well, like, did I achieve the goals that I set out? So let me pull them back up and you can tell me whether or not I was able to achieve the goals that I set out, that I wanted you to go away with as your takeaways. Where is that slide? Here we are. All right, so I had said I wanted you to come away with a better understanding of why this matters and why it matters now. I hope that you've understood that. We don't have very long, right? So the women who have gone through the challenge, I did the challenge live probably at the start of October, right? So they have already started to pull together their offers. They've already started to get a jump on it. We've got like a month left for you to leverage it. And as I've said to you, it's not just about November. It really is about what comes after November. I wanted you to understand how your Black Friday offer can be a pipeline builder and not just panic and discount selling. Let me know if there are any gaps in your understanding, if I've missed the mark with that one. And then I took you through the 3 powerful roles in terms of your offer, right? For discovery, for, let me flick to them because my mind is now thinking about the cakes. My mind is thinking all about the cake. So discovery, validation, and then your entry offer. So any questions, please do let me know. I would love to hear if you have any questions, if you've got any comments. The QR code there, I'm going to drop the link into the chat as well, so you can get more details. Go to the website or the sales page for the Black Friday Build Challenge replays. But you could also scan that QR code if you have another device. So I will drop the link into the chat. So that will take you to the sales page where you sign up. Jackie has a question. So you said, if offering a beta price, how long would you keep it before increasing the price? So the beta offer at the moment is just open until Wednesday, so the 29th. Right, so anyone who gets into that is in that 4-week container. We are moving together. We're starting together. We're moving together. We are going to be focused on building out those offers. And then in the new year, in the background, so between then and January, I'm going to be actually re-recording those modules. I'm going to be adding in other, so not making it just focused on Black Friday, but the basis of the thing has already been built. So that would be in January that the price would increase. So I think I've understood your question. Let me know if I have answered something you did not ask. Let's see what Sharon said. So if I have a product or service I want to offer, I can use a section of that as my Black Friday offer, yeah, and then build on that with potential customers or clients. Yeah, absolutely. So with what you have existing already, with the like cake analogy, you take a segment of it, and that ensures that it is still combined, connected, linked to your main offer. So we're not wanting to just, if you just want to like put out a sale and just get some money in, you can use Black Friday for that. But I think that's a missed opportunity. So yeah, if you've got a product or a service, then you can put that out. You can use a section of it as your Black Friday offer and then build on that, yeah, with potential customers or clients, because they're already now in your ecosystem, they're in your world. You're working with them, you're getting them results, and then you then start to seed the idea, the fact that the next level, great that we've optimized your profile, your LinkedIn profile, but actually, we need to now look at a strategy so that the business goals that you have can be realized through LinkedIn. So that is the kind of trajectory. I mean, if I were doing a beta offer, okay, all right, let me start again. If I were doing a beta offer, but I'm guessing from your answer that the beta price would only apply for a few days, is that right? So if you are doing a beta offer, so with Black Friday, there's an inbuilt deadline, there's inbuilt urgency. So you generally, you may keep it open for like Cyber Monday. So you may have it Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then generally you close it. I think people who kind of long this thing out, you start to lose credibility. You're like, oh, get it now, beta price, I'm only taking 10 or I'm only taking 5, and all 2026 this beta offer is still open. If it's linked to Black Friday, it has to have an endpoint. It's the whole point for the urgency, the whole point for why people take action is because it's a limited window, it's restricted. Sharon said, okay, makes sense. You're welcome. You are welcome. So any other questions? Guys, let me know. How did I do? Did I achieve my goal? What I said I wanted to you to come away with? Do you feel like you have a better, more deeper understanding around Black Friday and how you can leverage it in what I think is a novel and a unique way? Right? We are thinking with, and my whole thing is around having like legacy-led businesses. So we're not just trying to get quick wins. We're not just putting things out for the short period. We're thinking with that longer term view. You are welcome, my lovely. You are very welcome. 100%. Amazing. Perfect. If after this you're like, actually, I didn't quite understand that bit, or I've got an additional question, you're in the build room. So like, yeah, ask the question in there. If you're in the build room starter, feel free to do the same. Equally, if you are not in the build room starter, it's a free space. So I encourage you to get in and like, yeah, hang out there, and maybe you decide to level up, you decide to move into the build room. That would be the ideal, because we can work deeper. I do like audits. I was reviewing a lady's sales page. I've been doing one-to-ones with the women in the space. Sharon said 100% you achieved your goal, and my goal to understand how to utilize my experience and knowledge. Thank you. Oh, you are welcome. Okay, good. I am pleased, because my goal is to upskill women to leverage the online space to help them by providing tools, resources, even just a space, right? I had a really nice testimonial in the build room with a lady, she's not on actually, who has been able to meet a goal just from joining our co-working calls and having that ring-fence time and opportunity to focus to get those tasks done, to be consistent. Dorothy said, thank you, even I understand everything. What do you mean, even I? Of course you are going to understand it all, because you are incredible. Thank you so much, Dorothy. I'm so glad you jumped on. And I sent you a message actually on LinkedIn. What I said I was going to do, I haven't done yet, so forgive me, but I'll get to it. But check, maybe don't check because I haven't done it. But yeah, I did see your message, and I'm celebrating you. I'm excited for your next steps, for like, yeah, taking action. All right, guys. All right, I'm looking because I'm seeing pop-ups on my phone. I had it like on do not disturb and the timer has finished, so now everything's coming through. All right, guys, thank you so much. The replay will be put into the respective groups. So as I say, if you're not in the build room starter, that's where you'll get the replay for this. The ladies in the build room, it will be put there. So yeah, if you're wanting to rewatch this, that will be the place to do that. I really hope that you see the value in figuring out your Black Friday offer because of the bigger mission, the bigger vision. Amazing. Thank you so much, Tamika, for joining. It was fab to have you hang out with us. And guys, have an awesome weekend when it comes. Ladies, we've got the build room reset. So every month we have a session to review the current month that's ending so that we can go into the next month with intention and purpose. We've looked at consistency. We've looked at kind of we brain dump and get down all the things that are maybe weighing on us, and the things that we need to actually just shelf and move on, and the things that we want to carry forward. You're going to give me a follow. Amazing. Hop into the Build Room Starter. I would love to have you in there. Sharon says, I need to drop now. Thank you for today. It's definitely given me food for thought, and my brain is working overtime now with what I can do. Absolutely. That is exactly what you have literally just like become my poster girl now, Sharon, because I want to activate you guys. That's what these Build Room activations are all about. So thank you so much for saying that. Have an incredible weekend. See you guys. Take care. God bless you all. Thank you so much for joining. And I look forward to hosting you in a